All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's Renee Tompkins with Layer Social Media, here today with another social media masterclass for November. On today's agenda, we're going to talk about how to build a large following on social media, as well as top marketing channels for 2025, and how to preach those buyer agent success stories. We're going to talk about networking versus marketing. What are fake followers and what to do with them, how to get rid of them if you want to. We're going to get into the reverse review, which is something I talked about earlier. I think earlier in the year, very earlier in the year. We're going to review that again. We'll get into some daily success rituals and also mindsets for success and my recommended reading for the month. So as always, expectations for today's masterclass is to maintain a growth mindset. Be open to making results-based changes in your business that will grow your business. Again, this class is for people looking to grow their business by way of social media. Also to take notes and interact by asking questions or sharing stories, and then also to challenge yourself and develop your own social media success strategy. Something to think about here is activate your fans. Don't just collect them like baseball cards. We talk a lot about engaging, which we will during today's class. But also, I always say, look at your friends list, your connections on social media as a room full of people waiting to hear what you have to say. You wouldn't just walk in and stand against the wall. You would engage with them. So that's how you want to be treating social media as well. Let's get into how to build a large social media following. This is something that I hear a lot of agents say, how do I grow my numbers? We'll talk about that next. So you want to take some notes or take some photos with your smartphone. First up is to get set up. Begin by completing your profile, which consists of you, which is your headshot, and also write a great bio, which, might talk about your experiences as well as your interests, and then end it with a call to action. Always be welcoming and invite people to connect with you. The next step would be to identify your target audience. And let me say this with all respect. Many of us are connected with a lot of agents, and yes, I would just say that you want to be mindful of, is that your target audience? I mean, if it is, it is. But if you're looking to grow your business, I would say that you might want to rethink that strategy. And I'm not saying not to be connected with agents, because agent relationships are very important. But when you're looking to grow your business, you want to identify your target audience, and really your posts in your content should be focused around those people. So let's talk about some suggested real estate connections that you can make. One would be home inspectors, cleaners, stagers, the list goes on. You can see them here, down to lenders, painters, electricians, etc. So a lot of different people and companies that you can connect with that will help you grow your real estate business. And certainly, take a picture of that, because you do want to be reaching out. If you have a great experience with someone, even a painter, a stager, etc., I would think one of the first questions you want to be asking them is, let's connect online. Are you open to connecting with me on social media? Let's stay connected, I think, and continue the relationship to coffee dates, handwritten notes, etc. Next thing is to comment and engage with your connections. And I just said this earlier. Again, your connections are a list of people to you on social media, but take that mentally a little further and see them as people. In fact, envision them as a room full of people, like I always say, waiting to hear what you have to say. So let's talk about some engagement tips. And this is important for, again, think of it as a relationship. Don't just react on posts and videos, but authentically comment, message people, ask questions to keep the conversation going, and recommend your preferred vendors, especially if somebody is online complaining, about something, anything to do with their home. And then tag them in the recommendation. Just, comment and say, I've got a great handy person, or I've got a great roofer, or whatever it is, and tag them in the comment. Also ask for recommendations to build your own list of vendors. And lastly, I would say share local businesses, especially if they're having like a promotional post, if they're right now is an epic time to be doing this. A lot of small businesses are starting their small business Saturday early. Black Friday is, a lot of businesses are having their Black Friday sales now. So share this stuff to the feed and to the stories, because when you share it to stories, it automatically tags them in the repost. And then also be reciprocal. Reciprocate on reactions, comments, and followers. And again, I'll keep saying this. You wouldn't stand in front of a person and not respond or comment, or, yes, you would listen, but certainly when the time was appropriate, you would engage in the conversation. So remember that strategy on social media and be consistent. If you want the algorithm to favor your posts, you really do have to post consistently, which is at least twice a day. And again, engaging with your audience. And just a quick pro tip is to compliment people on their content. People love compliments. Thank people for their engagement. People will remember that. And again, what is that quote? It's not always what you say, but it's how you make people feel about them. And you can do that very easily on social media. And remember, your followers are real people. And as I said, no need to, well, yes, I am going to repeat this. Envision your followers as a room full of people waiting to hear what you have to say. No one wants to be left ignored. So it's if somebody is following you, especially on Instagram or on your Facebook page or professional Facebook page, follow them back. Unless you truly don't want to, if there's a reason, that aside, I'm saying the average follower, the average small business or, person in your area, be reciprocal. Think of it as the one-sided follower. Think of it as like a one-sided conversation. I'm not interested in hearing from you is basically what that says. And that's, again, it's not polite. So I would really consider being reciprocal with followers. Also use hashtags. People search for and follow hashtags. So by you using hashtags, you're going to now start to appear on other people's feeds, that not just your followers. So use hashtags that are relevant to your content, and that will attract more followers. And I've got a few lists here for you. You can take a picture of that. The best hashtags for listing. Here you go. Home, property, for rent, real estate, etc. You can read them. Sold for over asking, multiple offers, happy seller. Best hashtag for buyers. Buyer wish list, home ownership, relocation, find a home, tips for buyers, buyer tips, open house, etc. And then general use hashtags. Real estate, realtor, real estate agent, realtor life, agent life, investment, interior design, open house, sold, home sweet home, the list goes on. All right, let's get into tips for attracting followers. And again, this is posting engaging real estate content. So as you're a layer agent, every Monday you receive your weekly social media marketing, which includes your basic pieces formatted for the basic feed, along with your calls to action, your hashtags, your contact information. It's all there. All you're doing is adding your contact information. With editable links in case you do want to make any changes to the graphics. You also receive the 3 stories pieces formatted for your stories feed as well. Again, editable. So you're not really lacking for engaging real estate content, but here's what I would say. Take that a step further and start posting engaging video content. I will say that the content is designed so that you have a presence. You have professional credibility. There's the calls to action so people can reach out to you along with your contact information. So it does all the things that it's meant to do. But what it does not do is really bring you to the forefront, meaning video. So those of you that are doing video, congratulations, great. I love it. I love seeing it. Those of you that are not, I would strongly encourage you to step outside of your comfort zone. done is better than perfect, progress over perfection, all of the things, and just get some video content out, even if it's one video a week. Another thing you can do to attract followers is create events. So anytime you're hosting an open house or you're taking part in a community event day, uh, anything that you want other people to come to, you should create an event on social media. And this is an easy thing you can do. Um, Consider also offering weekly promotions, reverse reviews. I'm going to get to that in just a bit and later in today's class. But I would also, back to videos, I would consider an interview series. This is a strategic recommendation for those of you that are afraid to be in front of the camera. A video interview series takes the onus off of you for most of that content. Because prior to the video, you can even get with the person that you want to interview and ask them what questions you should be asking, what questions they want, what information do they want to share about their video, and then, or excuse me, their business, and then create your questions based off of that. You introduce yourself, you introduce your co-host, you start with the one question, let them answer. I mean, and it really does, they're the ones that have to do the bulk of the talking. So consider an interview series as a way to get into and more comfortable with video. Also, don't make your content all about real estate. If you go to my professional pages, you'll see several of my posts are about my grandson, maybe about books I'm reading, restaurants that I frequent. So it's not all about real estate is what I'm saying. All right, let's get into the top marketing channels for 2025. Now, this is a general term marketing. This is not all about social media, but this is the top marketing channels for 2025. One is Google reviews. Google reviews amplify your search engine optimization, helping you rank higher in Google search results. So Google is the main player here that you're going to see when it comes to the top channels to build your business. Definitely, if you do not have a Google profile review, absolutely do that. There's instructions on the Lair website on how to build a Google business profile. All the steps that you need to go through in order to accomplish that. And yes, there are some steps. But having a Google profile review will increase your visibility when prospects search for local agents online, and they do. They're gonna, yes, some people might think, well, everybody knows an agent. No, that's not true. And even if they do know an agent, that's not necessarily means that they're always going to want to go with that agent. So in fact, I've interviewed with many buyers and sellers over the years who have told me, my niece or my cousin's an agent, whoever's an agent, but for whatever reason, they weren't comfortable doing business with family or friends. So don't make that assumption. So definitely consider, well, I wouldn't even I would say this is a must do. If you don't have a Google business profile, go to Lair Agent Services, and there is a guide on there as to how to get your Google set up. Also, email newsletters. We have monthly, the Roar Report. And also you can easily blog a monthly article, which you can include on your Lair website as well, too. You can blog on your Lair website. But I would say email newsletters are definitely a way, even if you get a low open rate, that is okay. Understand the strategy is just maintaining top of mind because they're seeing you and they're seeing an email from you. So I would definitely recommend amping up your monthly newsletter to include market insights, local happenings, transaction updates, even videos. If you have a new listing coming on, include that in there. So you can customize your Roar Report and make it, more personal to you and your business and your readers. So instead of emailing monthly, email your contact list. It says weekly here, and yes, depending on, your comfort level, you could do monthly, or excuse me, you could do weekly, you can do twice, every other week. I would do more than a month. I definitely would. And so if you're feeling that you're uncomfortable doing it, you're going from a month to every week, then do it every other week and increase it from there. So again, this is also a great way to get your people to connect with you on social media, is to include links in your email, newsletter on how to connect with you. Another strategy is I would always, if the transaction went well and everybody was thrilled, which fortunately was most of the time, I would ask people to connect with me on social media. I would, before the transaction was over, as the maybe perhaps the commitment was issued, two things I would ask for was a client testimonial, because it's not done till it's done, but the commitment being issued was a huge part of that. So get your testimonials in then, and make it easy for people. So send them links to your Google, send them a link to your Zillow, send them a link to your Facebook, your Yelp, wherever you're collecting your testimonials. And then also add them if they ask them if they would be open to connecting on social media. Again, think of social media as a free way to stay connected with people you know. It's amazing. Another strategy is community connections. This is a huge opportunity for you to leverage your presence in the market that you cover. So look for opportunities to get out in front of people. Town days, produce market, crafts fairs, volunteering efforts, grand openings, anything going on at the town hall or country club. Tour new construction developments, library events. I mean, think of even like pie events, photos with Santa, Hanukkah, Christmas, towns do celebrate these things and hold these things. So it's an opportunity. In fact, I was just about a year and a half ago, we went to a farmer's market here, and there were a couple of tables set up with realtors. And I thought, well, that's exceptional. So another opportunity really to get in front of people is what you're looking for. And then don't forget about open houses. Open houses are such an outstanding opportunity to grow your business and make it part of your social media strategy. So don't just look for open houses to host. And I think, especially as new agents, you're hosting another agent's listing open house. And so you just feel like you're there, you're hosting it, you're waiting for people to come in. I say, let's amp up the strategy and turn it into first off, a mega open house. So this is a mega open house does work better if it is your listing. I will say that. However, let's think of some strategies where this could certainly work for any listing. So number one is create an event on social media, which anybody can do for their open house, whether it's your listing or not. Go live and invite your connections. Anyone can do that. Mail invitations or call to invite the neighbors. Anyone can do that. If it's your listing, the exclusive neighbor does work better. However, with permission from the sellers and the listing agent, I don't see an issue with that either way. Lender presence, co-marketing at the event, and include this in your email newsletter. So again, go back, and if you know you're hosting open houses, whether they're your listing or not, put them in your newsletter to get traffic into your open house, and then go live at the event. There's so many different ideas for mega open houses, from food trucks to face painting to poets to wine and cheese. I mean, you can run the gamut. And then also look for other agents who are doing other open houses in the areas of your listings or of your office listings, and make sure that you take advantage of these opportunities to get on that open house circuit. Include, if you can, giveaways, snacks, buyer seller guides, have lots of signage. Don't just put a sign and a flag in front of the house. Make sure that you are very present. That, again, look at an open house as an opportunity to be present in the area, but also take advantage and make sure that you're showcasing this on social media, that you're either doing a preview of the property the day before, or say an hour before the open house, you're doing your walkthrough of the property. You're also showcasing how busy the open house is. If that's the case, you're taking photos and posting that on social media. You're going live at the event. So lots of opportunities with open houses. Let's talk about mailers, getting back to basics. And this is sending out postcards or flyers monthly so that you are seen everywhere. Again, maintaining top of mind is key when growing your business. Advertise on social media as you're sending out your mailing, so that you are also, if you're marketing yourself, say in Tewksbury, then you want to be advertising in social media in Tewksbury, right? So because you want to maintain that top of mind status. You might even consider investing in one of those customized magazines where you send out to your higher price points on a quarterly basis. If the cost is an issue, ask for your preferred partners to co-sponsor you. There's always a way around. So again, mailers are something that I believe a lot of people have discarded because they don't think that they get the return. And here's what I will always say: how long were you doing it for? And most of the time what I hear, 3 months, I gave it 90 days, I gave it 6 months, 9 months. I would say this: mailers, and you should be doing mailers consistently to the same area. So, and again, advertising in that area on social media. The average geo farm, and you got to do research to make sure that you're picking a geo farm that's going to give you some sense of return. So you want to know how many homes in this area are selling on average every year, and what's the price point, so that you can kind of gauge what you can expect as a return. It might also behoove you to check out to see if there's one or two agents getting a bulk of the business. That might mean that they are geofarming as well. So it doesn't mean that you shouldn't. I'm just saying, and I certainly didn't use that as an excuse to not geofarm myself. When I grew my business, there were heavy hitters in the area, but I still geofarmed, and I grew my business by way of geofarming, social media, and a few other ways. But I would say, do the research first to make sure that you're going to get a reasonable, what the return is. And how will you know if that's a good return? You got to compare it to other areas. And then decide, how many homes. I would say start with at least 300 homes on a monthly basis. And then as you begin to receive a return, increase it so that it becomes an unstoppable strategy for you. Some mailer suggestions that you can include would be market updates, exclusive coupons to local businesses, home maintenance tips, seasonal recipes, event invitations. If you're co-hosting, or it could be a seminar that you want people to come to. General real estate tips and advice, just listed, just sold year to dates, success stories, testimonials. Now, if you're a newer agent and you don't have the solds to talk about just yet, give a general list of sold homes. Now, you cannot use other agents' photos without their permission. But I would definitely, maybe perhaps list the addresses, list price to sold price. Success stories with testimonials. Perhaps include a QR code to your website or your link tree. Here's another strategy that we just started implementing: a QR code to your branded video. So record a branded video introducing yourself and perhaps how long you've been in the business, what someone can expect as a result of doing business with you. End it with a call to action. And you can easily do this in Canva. Generate a QR code that points to that video and include that QR code on your mailers. I think that's very dynamic. Oh, here we go. More video content. So invest your time in producing more video content. And this is something that you can time block for, and you can batch record. We'll talk about that in a minute, but you can include videos as part of your newsletter by adding a QR code to your mailers, as well as even your newsletter. Add it to your newsletter. And linking it to your YouTube videos. You do need a place to house your videos. So, and yes, there should be a link that you can share your social media. I think though, however, you want to be linking it to your YouTube channel when sharing it outside of social media. You can also run YouTube in-stream video ads, as well as add this content to your website. So it's really limitless. Videos put a real face to your voice and voice to your social media profile, and they build credibility and trust. So I've always said this: they take sort of the veil away from the profile to the person. So you become an actual person versus the profile. And another strategy is preach those buyer agent success stories. With all the stuff that's going on in the media about buyer agency commissions and et cetera, all agents who work with buyers should be sharing huge success stories. So this is another content suggestion would be the importance of having a buyer's agent. I think a lot of people don't even understand this. I think a lot of new buyers, they go to an open house, they don't know the ins and outs of agency. And yes, there should be a disclosure, however, whatever, I don't know that everybody understands that stuff. So I would talk about the importance of having a buyer's agent, the role of a great buyer's agent, some success stories, buyer testimonials, offer of free guides to home ownership. I have to say this though, I'm not a fan of offering like a downloadable link unless it's like a quick flyer, maybe. I mean, that really should be given in person, or at least presented on Zoom and then shared. I'm not a fan of giving guides away. I think that's the value that you bring in it. That part should be in person. Um, the home buying process, this is a great video idea. And then interviews with lenders, buyer seminars, buyer tips, interviews with home inspectors, interview a past client a year later. Talk to me about your real journey to home ownership now that you've been a homeowner for a year. How's it been? Property preview videos. So this is a great strategy for agents who are newer and are looking to build their business. I would oftentimes in my first year of real estate tour homes, either go to a public open house or book an agent preview and ask the agent always if it's okay to record a quick video and share it on your social media. But this was a great way for me to have presence and credibility while I was building my business. So this is a great opportunity for newer agents. And then also open house events. All right, let's get into what the difference is between networking and marketing. So marketing, the goal of marketing is to connect, right? It focuses on groups of people, tells your story to many people, looks after the brand's reputation, analyzes market data, delivers averages, shares client experience, etc. Where networking, the goal of networking is to build and nurture relationships for everyone's mutual, keyword mutual benefit, focuses on the individual and is relationship based, builds mutual beneficial B2B, business to business relationships, and seeks to help others build connections. So it's really about, I think, becoming the problem solver and becoming the go-to for who do you know. But again, think of that problem solver, put you in a position of trust also. So the question is, are you marketing or networking on social media? And I would say, hopefully you're doing both. Just a quick info slide here. The rule of 7 is the average customer needs to encounter your message at least 7 times before they will reach out to you. And even I would say geofarming takes a bit longer. I would say the average geofarm takes about 18 to 24 months to grow. However, during that time, yes, you'll certainly get some appointments and some listings, which would be great. Anyway, putting out one video a week really doesn't suffice. But I will say this, if you're brand new to it and you have a discomfort, then yes, you can start small. One a week would be fine to start off with. But then let's set a goal and a strategy so that you're doing, week 3, now you're doing 2, week 5, now you're doing 3, so that you have a plan to increase that. Anyway, just putting out one video a week doesn't suffice. You have to saturate the feed by sharing weekly videos and content so that you are seen everywhere. Think about frequency and familiarity. They need to know, like, and trust you before they'll do business with you. And this is completely, completely true. But it's even more so why it's so crucial for everybody to have a Google business profile. Also, to link your website to that Google business profile. Now, you can choose to link your Facebook or your Instagram to it as a way for people to get in touch with you. I think the website is probably more appropriate, but you can link your link tree as well. I think that would be great. So random followers are a thing. I know all of you know that if you're on, especially if you're on Instagram, this is, this is part of that experience. Who are they and why are they? So a question I get all the time is, why do I even get these? Why are these people following me? So a couple reasons is they could generally be interested in what you are posting. They can like the aesthetics of your profile, and gain inspiration from it. Others follow you in hopes that you're just going to simply follow them back so that they can get their numbers up. I would say this. It's interesting because now there is a strategy out there, and I've seen plenty of people do it, where they'll follow you to get your follow back and then they'll unfollow you. And I'm not a huge fan of that at all. I think that it is not good social media etiquette. So don't do that. Don't let that person be you. And also they can find you through hashtags and engagement groups, or simply through suggestions. So some of this might be innocent. You getting the random followers. Don't assume that they're always, that it's always a bad thing. It's not. But understand the pros and cons of who they are. So the pros are that you have, you can get increased engagement because now you have more followers who hopefully are now seeing your content and reacting and engaging with you. The con to this, though, is many random followers don't. And they're considered fake accounts or bots, which can negatively impact your account's engagement rate. Because if you have a high number of followers, but an extremely low amount of engagement, that's not helping you. So random followers are unlikely to engage with your account, leading to lower overall engagement rate for your account, which again, the algorithm prioritizes your accounts or any account with a higher engagement rate. So again, if you have a low engagement rate, your stuff won't be seen a lot, only by those that are generally engaging with you, and that's it. So how to identify and deal with fake followers? So a couple things. How to identify them first is some red flags for random followers on Instagram are a low amount of followers. Like you might see that they have, they're following 350 people, but they've got 2 followers. Or sometimes it's not that drastic, but you get the sense. Random and sometimes inappropriate content. You'll go on and you'll click before you follow back or whatever, and you look and some of their content is just simply inappropriate. So no thanks. Also accounts with large numbers of followers, but few posts. So, and that's another thing to watch for. And then how to block them if you choose to is simply go to their profile and click the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner, select block and confirm your choice. So it's pretty simple to do that. Some pro tips are to review your followers on a monthly basis. Search for yourself to ensure your account hasn't been duplicated. And watch for password reset emails that you did not initiate. So make sure that your whatever email that you have associated with your social media accounts is an email that's on your phone that you get email alerts to, that you don't have, isn't an email account that maybe you check once a month. Make sure you're getting your alerts from this email. And be diligent about removing fake bot followers if that's something you choose to do. So this is a strategy I did talk about, I want to say late last year, maybe early in 2024. And it's the reverse review. And I've had great success with it here, and I wanted to share it with you all as an opportunity for you to, again, grow your social media following, but also stay top of mind with local businesses. I think, when we look at our sphere of influences, our past clients, all those people, and we geofarm and we're doing all the things to grow our business. I think one of the things a lot of us leave out are connecting with local businesses. And I would say this is a great way to start that, but there's also some follow-up that can take it to a whole new level. First off, the reverse review, what is it? The reverse review is when you write and share a review about another local business. So you go in and you frequent, say, a nail salon or a dry cleaner or whatever. And what I would say is while you're in the facility, while you're in their shop, just say, you know, I love coming in here. You guys do such a great job. I'm gonna write a Google review for you. Would you be open to that? And of course they would say, oh my gosh, yes, this is great. Um, so in fact, let me take a couple pictures of your place now while I'm here and I'll share it on social media. By the way, would you be open to following me on social media? Right? So continue, don't be afraid to ask. Again, I always say if you don't ask, the answer is automatically no. And I'll share some success stories in a minute. So here's the steps. You're in the place, you tell them you're going to write the review. So you write a 5-star review of their business, but you do it from a professional email. So if you're Lair agent, you have a Google-based email, perfect, write your review from there. And then create and share a post on social media, tagging and checking into the business, including the photos that you took earlier on social media. In addition to sharing the review on the standard feed, share it on the stories feed as well. And then create a highlight on Instagram showcasing all your favorite businesses. Okay. And then as a result, now this is just the first step. The reverse review is really like an epic thing to do, but it's really the first step. You're going to do more with these businesses. But here's an example of something that I wrote about a local spa here. And I wanted to share it. I created that post in Canva. I tagged them in the post. I told them where the shop was, etc. Here's a result. Salon is now here following me. Another one, this great sort of plant studio, which is just amazing. I did the same exact strategy, and here they are following me. And another local to Massachusetts, Reading Trophy, where we get our team's awards. Again, they're following me. So just a couple things, but here are some ways that you can take it even further, this is where the magic is. That's the first step. Now we're going to take it and we're going to amp it up. So add these businesses to your newsletter if you have their email addresses, but you know what? If you don't, ask, right? Send them holiday greeting cards. Check in every time you visit them and invite them to take part in your events and tell them you're adding them to your preferred local business list because you have buyers who oftentimes move into the area that are looking for great, whatever they are. So tell them you're doing this and then ask them if they would be open to an interview. Now, you don't have to do all of this in one conversation, but I would challenge you to start interviewing local businesses and do it right there at their business. That would be great. They don't have to come to you. You go to them. But co-host an event with them. This is another strategy. So especially if they're either opening up a new shop or facility or they're newer to the area, tell them you'd love to host a meet and greet. So you can co-host it maybe with your preferred lender and you go to like ABC Massage and you co-host a meet and greet and you create the event online. You let everybody know in your newsletter, come join us. You know, maybe you're doing an open bar for the first hour, whatever you're doing. I think this would be and again, everybody's got to sign in at the event because you're going to do drawings, etc. Start to treat these businesses as part of your sphere of influence. I'm telling you, this is such a great strategy. Such a great strategy. So some suggestions on who you can reverse review: local spa owners, restaurants, yoga, Pilates, chiropractor, massage therapist, pet care, all, you know, car detailer, anybody, bakery, coffee shop, it's endless. And then how to leave a Google review. You Google, make sure you're on Google, search for the place. You'll see if they have a Google review. Now, if they don't have a Google profile, you won't see anything over on the right side of your screen where it says, you know, Pure Salon Spa, and you won't see that. All you'll see is the stuff over to the left. We'll get into that in a minute if that's the case. But if they do have a Google business profile, add your testimonial. Now, if they don't have a Google business profile, search for them on social media. I mean, chances are they're somewhere. Now, if they aren't, worst case scenario, they're brand new and they're just not anywhere, then write them a handwritten card, take a photo of the card, share it on social media, and then drop off the card to the business with a Popeye, explaining your intention and say, I love for you guys to get your website or your Google business profile, and tell them you want to help them grow their business. So social media can be one of the easiest ways to build and maintain authentic connections. You just have to treat it more like a telephone than a television. And this is 100,000 billion% true. And this is why I say get intentional with your time on social media. Yes, a lot of us will just hop on social media, see what's going on, etc. And that's fine. But when you are being intentional to grow your business and your time blocked to be intentional, I would say several things need to happen. One is you have to have your CRM open to make notes about people and make a list if you're lacking information from your connections of the things that you need from them. So when you do meet them, and also always take it off of social media, take the relationship further and meeting off of social media, invite people for coffee. Write those handwritten notes. You're all in the Finish Strong series with Michael Mayer, and on his communication pyramid, the one-on-one is number one, right? The top tier. So you want to be, how do you connect and get into that influence zone? That is when you want to invite people for coffee. Are you going to do that on social media? Yes, you can connect with people on social media. So social media is the great starting place of great connections. But I always say, if you really want to take it further, message people and take the relationship further off of social. That doesn't mean you're deleting them. Absolutely not. You're maintaining your social connection, yes. But you're taking it further and you're having coffee, drinks, dinner, lunch, whatever you want with them. And then when you do meet them, before you meet them, go through your database and see, what don't I have on this person that I need? I'm lacking an email. I'm lacking their actual mailing address. This is important when you meet with affiliates, because you're going to meet with a lender and you might say, and I always say, this might sound corny, but have an actual address book. And actually write it in front of them. So, everybody uses their phone, and the phone is fine. I'm not saying, not to, but my preference is an actual old school address book, because I take that with me whenever I'm having coffee with someone and I say, before we go, let me make sure, I don't think I have your so-and-so, your address, whatever. And I know this ahead of time because I've already checked, but I don't ever ask them for it. I say, what is it? I'll say, I'd love to add you to my holiday greeting card list. What's your mailing address? And if they say, oh, do you want my business or my home? Always choose home, because people switch jobs. Oh, I don't have your email. What is it? Don't ask them if they're open to giving it to you. That's a yes or no question, and you have a chance of getting a no. So always just ask for it. All right, let's get into some daily success rituals. Be purposeful. Start the day with intention. Who can I connect with today? This is something. How can I add value? Another question. I mean, these things are so important to ask yourself. I think by being intentional and purposeful throughout the day, you're more apt to align with the energy that you ultimately want in your life. Write down your intentions. If it's not in writing, chances are it's going to get overlooked. Keep a notepad by your bed for after-hour inspiration. So I do this. I do a to-do list every night before I go to bed, so I can clear my mind of the things that I know I need to do tomorrow. I don't want to be in bed all night thinking, oh, this, I got to do this, I got to do that. I don't want to think that way. I want to get it out on paper so that it's clear to me what I need to do, and I can put my mind at ease. But I do also keep a notepad next to my bed at night in case something else pops in that I forgot to put in. Again, I don't want to be up all night thinking about it. And then when I begin my day, I have a clear list of things I need to do. And don't be too results driven. Enjoy the journey. I am reading this magical book. It is not my recommended reading of the month yet because I haven't finished it. But I will tell you, not what I expected, and it's really awesome. And he does talk about in this book people who are so uber focused on the results, on the destination, that they're getting so caught up in that they're not enjoying the journey. And I will say, and I agree with his philosophy, is if you don't enjoy the journey, you're not going to enjoy the destination either. So you got to actually enjoy the process of becoming. I love that. Be willing to step outside of your comfort zone. 100 billion% true. Um, everybody, I will say people that have an unrealistic expectation is another thing too, is they might start those geofarm mailings. They might, start something for a bit and not really get anything from it. The one and done mailings, stop that, right? Everything takes time to build. You have to go 100% all in, be 100% committed, and ditch your comfort zone without the expectation of or demand of receiving this result within a specific time. Now, that doesn't mean over time you're not going to make some tweaks to your strategy, but I wouldn't ditch the goal 100%. Would not ditch the goal. Oh, here we go. Too often people attach success with with expected results. So when you don't achieve the desired results in the perceived reasonable time frame, people stop. And this is why I mean, I look back and I thank God that I didn't stop hosting open houses. I didn't get any business from any open house that I hosted for the first 4 months. I hosted 4 open houses, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. That was my typical schedule, unless there was, something major going on, like a holiday or something. And so, had I called it quits in 3 to 4 months, I would have gotten no business. The first open house I hosted right after the 4-month mark, I converted and closed 4 closings from 1 open house. Had I called it quits, that would never have happened. That's what I'm saying. Just go all in and commit to the process. Enjoy the journey of becoming without there being an expectation or demand of receiving results within a certain time frame. Again, we said this earlier. Who can I connect with today? How can I provide value? I think if you look at things from that perspective, the expectation goes away, right? Because you're giving, you're doing the giver's gain. Again, I'm sure one of Michael Mayer's generosity generation, is that it? Let's get into some mindsets for success. I always love this one, and it's one of my mantras: lean in and level up. Excuses don't get results. And for each headache you face, ask yourself, is this mostly real or mostly imagined? Solve the real problems and release the imaginary ones. This is a very impactful quote by James Clear, who wrote Atomic Habits. I had to think for a minute. Focus on the process, not the results. Yes. And success isn't just about reaching your goals. It's about the person you become along the way. Everything happens at the moment of decision. This is one of my life mantras, and I know this is true. Anytime that I have actually decided, I stopped wavering back and forth. I was stopped the whole thinking about it. I'm not sure. And I know not everybody, you don't make decisions. You just don't wake up and decide hardcore every day what to do. You do have to weigh things out. But I will say this, once you do just make a decision, whatever it is, you can't help but to align with that. And as a result, you will get what it is you're seeking once you decide. And then get comfortable being uncomfortable. All growth happens when we push ourselves. Yes. My recommended reading is The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. This book is epic and life-changing. I'll just say that. Forbes says if you've ever resisted good changes, you'll find out why with this book. And it's not whether you feel like putting in the work, but whether or not you do it regardless. Huge. So definitely recommend The Mountain Is You. And if you're looking to for social media inspiration, I would love to connect with you. Let's connect. My handle on social is @TheRealReneeTompkins. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, and Pinterest. Would love to connect with you there, and I will follow you back. And thank you for joining us. Watch for the next Social Media Plus Masterclass to take place. And you can never miss an opportunity to learn and grow if you sync your calendar with the Layer Training Calendar. Go to layerrealty.com/training to do that. And that's it for today's class. Thank you so much. If you are needing some further inspo, reach me through the Happy Agent email to set up a one-on-one call. Would love to chat with you and to provide guidance on your social media success journey. Thank you as always for watching, and have a great Thanksgiving. There's so much to be grateful for. So thank you as always for tuning in with me.